During this lesson you will be required to fill out a worksheet. I recommend you read through the worksheet before viewing the lesson. In order to give you time to do this, you can use the pause button at the bottom of the screen. Learning outcomes. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to state the purpose of a cube test, list the 10 tools required to carry out a cube test, and list the 5 steps for carrying out a cube test successfully. Cube test. The purpose of the cube test is to determine the compressive strength of concrete. Concrete test cubes are the basis of the most important quality control there is for checking on hardened concrete. A sample of fresh concrete is taken and made into cubes using special moulds. These are laboratory tested to determine the compressive strength of the concrete. The tools required to carry out a cube test. One is the cube mould itself. These normally have base plates on them and are 150 millimeters. Two are the spanners for putting together and taking the mould apart. 3 is mould oil. This is to allow the concrete or stop the concrete from sticking to the edge of the mould. 4 is a scoop for filling the moulds. 5 is a steel float for smoothing off the top of the concrete. 6 is a compacting bar for compacting the concrete into the cube mould. It usually weighs 1.8 kilograms, 380 millimeters long, with a ramming face of 25 millimeters square. 7 is a damp sack. This is used to help cure the concrete in the mould and protect it. We need polythene sheeting for underneath and over the moulds for protecting them. 9 is a waterproof crayon or marker, so you can write the serial number on the side of the concrete cube. And 10 is a water tank, which the cubes are submerged in order to cure them. The test procedure. Step 1. Check that the moulds are clean and lightly oiled, with all bolts tightened to prevent leakage. Step 2. Fill the mould with concrete in 50 mm layers, tamping each layer a minimum of 35 times with the ramming bar. Step 3. Place some timber over the top of the cube and compact the concrete in the cube using a compacting vibrator. Remove the surplus concrete from the top and smooth off with a float. Wipe the mould edges clean and number them for identification purposes. Step 4. Cover each mould with a damp sack and store inside at normal room temperature, 15 to 25 degrees Celsius. Protect the samples at all times from high and low temperatures, especially frost and drying winds. Step 5. Stripping the cubes. Loosen all nuts, tap the sides gently and lift off carefully. Number the cubes on 2 sides. After the storage period, the cubes need to be water cured in a thermostatically controlled water tank of between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius before being sent to the laboratory for testing. The cube test. Below are some samples of concrete cubes after being tested for their compressive strength at the laboratory. The purpose of the cube test is to determine the compressive strength of concrete. The tools that are required to carry out a cube test are 1. The cube moulds, 2. The spanners, 3. Mould oil, 4. The scoop, 5. The steel float, 6. A compacting bar, 7. Some damp sacks, 8. Polythene sheeting, 9. Waterproof crayon or marker, and 10. A water tank. The cube test. 5 steps to carrying out the cube test are: 1. Check the moulds, 2. Fill the mould, 3. Compact and clean the mould, 4. Cover and store, 5. Strike the mould and cure it before the cube is ready to be tested.